Welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, cuz Commander's number one. I have got both Slothy and Sherman with me today. Slothy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. It was a very long week. I was mostly just kind of sitting down, bending some pipe, and that's about all I was allowed to do.
Yeah, I was going to say you were on your light duty stuff, right?
Yeah.
Light duty drags on so badly.
Yeah, and kind of to top it all off, I went in to see the doctor on Thursday. He told me I've got another week.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So you for sure gave yourself like a concussion then.
Yeah.
you bashed yourself in the head pretty good.
Yeah.
Good
job.
If the concussion leads to more decks like that Hashaton, I'm not gonna hit you with a pipe myself. I really liked that deck. I tried all day I was just like, hey, we need to get more Hashatons. I want to build a few versions of it, so I'm gonna have to order a few of those, and I'll say where we can do that after. But first, Sherman, how are you?
Doing better than last week, so yeah, I'm glad to be back recording with you guys here.
That's good. It's you had a rough week. We'll leave her there, but
yeah,
definitely missed you. So happy that you're back. I'm very good. I really have been having fun for the last day. I was talking to Slothy before we started here, and then Sherman. I just started writing a ton of song lyrics, kind of things, kind of putting a few songs together. So it's been very fun. I've been having a blast doing it, and like I said, I might call in sick to work. I hope no one in my work listens to this, because they'll know. They're not on the Patreon. They don't know nothing. But yeah, it's if you're looking for any of the cards, like I was saying with that Hashaton, I just want to get right into this so we can get to our topic, because I love it. Go to housecards.ca, promo code IT99. It's going to give you a discount, fast shipping. It's where I'm going to go buy a few versions of Hashaton right as soon as we're done this, because I loved that deck. Put any of your new decks in your AI armor sleeves, and then like, share, subscribe. It really does help us out. Yeah, come hang out on Patreon, build decks with us. That's it. We get into it now. This week we wanted to talk about I really liked before the Signature Spellbook thing, and I kind of brought up to the boys here. I was like, well, what would be in your Signature Spellbook? Like, what would make it up? What are the cards that you are finding you play the most? What are the ones you play the least? And I kind of wanted to just see, because I think we'd all have pretty distinct styles and everything. So it's just kind of that. It's just, I wanted to talk a few of our favorite commanders over the time and go a little deeper into why we like them and the paths you can take on them, kind of thing. So yeah, it's my play style has always been kind of just silly. I'm not really the interaction play style person. I don't police the table. I just kind of play what's fun, and I try and make the games fun for other people. Not everyone plays that way. Not everyone likes that. A bunch of people actually kind of like to have interaction and answers. Not me. Not up in here. That's not for me. But yeah,
like instant.
Yeah, exactly right. I was gonna say, like, do you guys, like, really quickly? My play style is always more of a group hug kind of thing, but I don't know if all my commanders that I chose for this are. We decided to go with basically a signature spellbook of 8 cards, right? So yeah, that's let's I guess you guys kind of share a little bit about your play style options before we get into it, and we'll go from there.
Slothy, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, my play style, kind of looking through my decks that I've built in preparation for this, I do a lot of kind of like in and out of the graveyard sort of things. Not to mention any of the cards, but Reanimator is a theme that I have noticed myself kind of trending more and more towards over the last year or so. And that's kind of where I'm sitting right now.
You kind of like that Reanimator style?
Yeah, graveyard's a secondhand sort of deal.
That's fair. Sherman, how about you? How have you been playing lately?
I'm all over the place. You guys know that. I try to do different things. Like, overall, I like interaction. I'm like the opposite of Daniel. I will be the police at the table. I will try to put a stop to things. I will try to initiate things. I'm the one that tends to poke the bear first, because I'm just like, you know what? Let's just get this party started. I don't care if I die first. That's never the point. The point is to cause chaos, but calculated chaos. So I like a lot of interactions and everything, and yeah, just go from there.
I like it. Let's I guess let's jump into, what do we say? Do we want to jump into Spellbook Slothy first and see what we like?
Sure.
All right. Take us away.
Sure. So I'll start off with my. Should we start off with the commanders or the cards?
Let's start
with cards, I say.
Yeah, cards and then commander. Yeah.
Cards? Sure.
Save the best for last.
Yeah, so I kind of, like I was saying, I looked through a bunch of my decks I've done lately to find cards that showed up more and more prevalently.
Yep.
So the first one I've got here is Jack-O-Lantern. 1 mana artifact. You can tap it, pay 1 and tap it, sacrifice it, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard, and draw a card. And you can pay 1 to exile it from your graveyard to add 1 mana of any color. I find that in a lot of the budget decks that I've been doing lately, particularly 2-color ones. This kind of has a lot of what I want. Stops somebody else from recurring things, gets me card draw, filters my mana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one. It's a cool budget piece. I have seen you using it more and more, especially with a lot of the artifact kind of theme decks that we've been going into.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of times that I personally don't have an answer to a graveyard card. So just even because this isn't just you're able to exchange this card, right? So
yeah,
you're able to still have the answer there, or it's a draw a card thing. I like it. Kind of gets you out of a bind if you need to.
Yeah, exactly.
What would be our next card in your spell book here?
Sure. Next one here is Key to the City. It's a 2-mana artifact. You can tap it to discard a card. Up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. And whenever it becomes untapped, you may pay 2, and if you do, you draw a card. I like getting my guys through. Particularly with one of the commanders I'll be mentioning later. This puts in a decent amount of work and also gets things in the graveyard to get out later.
Yeah, I guess if you're going reanimation, throwing things to the graveyard is like an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so basic on it. I just wait until turn 1, don't draw anything, throw it out. Turn 1, miss a land drop, discard phage, reanimate, die. It's I got a strange style. What do we got next here?
Yeah, next up we've got Officious Interrogation. White and a blue for an instant. Spell cost white and a blue, more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target players. Investigate X times, where X is the total number of creatures those players control. This card's an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
It is very, very rare that I've played it and not investigated at least 6 or 7 times. I think the lowest is 5, and then that's in Marnius, so I'm drawing 5 cards as well.
There's I play so many decks that have the I can't even think of the name right now. It's Rise and Shine. And I love animating those artifacts and stuff like that. So it's a card I really should start including in decks, because that does make you just a ton of artifacts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think on that one that we did in the Calgary event, I got like 43 clue tokens just off of you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you have like a big token player in your group, it's really, really easy to, like you said, really stock up. But even in a worst case, like 6 mana to get 1 for each player on the board. I guess you can also hit yourself. I've never even considered that.
You sure can.
Yeah, so even if you're the token player, you can be like, all right, investigation
shine all
time.
your stuff.
Yeah.
And then Officious Interrogation yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess you could do that. That's funny. The like I said, the Officious Interrogation is a card I'm glad you put on your list. I was hoping it was on yours, because I've played with you a fair bit, and every time I have seen you cast that spell, I have seen you having a good time.
Yeah.
Like it's very rare that you're not really, really enjoying the game if you have this card out. So
100%. It's so much fun. I'm going to skip that one because I want that one to be last. Next one I've got here is Victimize. It is 2 and a black for sorcery. Choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped.
Such a good card.
It's so good. Throwing one creature away to get two makes me real happy.
Yeah.
Especially
if it's just a throwaway token you just don't care about. It's like, whatever, goodbye, like 1/1 spirit or 1/1 mirror.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be getting my phage back. Thank you very much.
I want to find a way to build a functional phage deck that doesn't just kill me.
As phage as the commander, or
yeah, probably.
I think there's
I feel like you have to like just run a full list of tutors, get your end the turn cards.
Yeah.
But then you could key to the city, the phage. Unblockable phage is a problem.
Just make it a complete stacks deck.
Yeah, that's true.
So the triggers don't trigger.
There you go.
I like it. Really quickly, when you're saying that, one of the cards I wanted to put on my list, I was just like, Toxrill. I have so much fun when I play Toxrill, but no one else has fun playing Toxrill. So I can't signature spellbook Toxrill, sadly.
Coward.
Toxrill's just float under the radar because of how nobody likes to hurt their playgroup like that. So it hasn't had to hit the ban list, but yeah, Toxrill's rough.
Yeah. My fiance's brother asked me to make him a deck. So I gave him my box of legendary creatures to go through and just pick one that he found interesting. He pulled out Toxrill.
Of course.
Looking at these colors too, pretty easy for you to get into Esper and start victimizing, throwing away things, bringing back Toxrill and Elish Norn, and just wreck everyone's game.
Oh,
victimize Toxrill, Elish Norn. You trade a 1-drop for what's that, 15 mana or 14 mana worth?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's rough. I do really like Victimize. It's a very cool one.
Mm-hmm. And my final one in my cards section, I want you guys to guess what it is.
Ooh.
Oh, I actually know. As soon as you said it, I knew it. I knew it in my heart. Sherman, do you know it?
No, I don't.
Let me take this one. Slothy, Strixhaven Stadium.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Strixhaven Stadium.
I should have known that.
I knew it. I knew it in my heart.
It's a 3-mana artifact. Tap it for colorless, put a point counter on it. Creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter. Creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, put 1 on it. And then if it has 10 or more point counters, remove them all and that player loses the game. I never get tired of reading that text box.
I like it. That is Strixhaven Stadium. As soon as you said it, I was like, well, why would guess? There's so many cards. What could? And then I was like, I knew it. I knew what it was.
I'm not thinking in the morning right now.
You've shown me the light on Strixhaven Stadium, and I have been including it in a ton of decks.
Perfect.
It's a real again. It's a good. I like the 3-mana rocks just in general. I think they really smooth the deck out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the fact that it's a win condition as well is just really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have loved this card pretty much since it came out, so I'm real excited that people are starting to get turned on to it.
Well, there's again, speaking of cards that I wanted to put in, I also considered Firesong and Sunspeaker, and I love playing that because I always gain so much life. It's always a really fun deck that I like to play in big groups. Obviously, it scales better with the more people you play.
Mm-hmm.
But that's often you can't deal with me because I have so much life. So having like cards that have a way to make someone lose, like actually the game, not just an I win that can be stopped, but Daniel loses is always such a good condition to include in the game, even if it hurts me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to kind of it feels like it's a half step down from I win cards.
Yeah.
Because if there's a problem, you can just take them out and the rest of us are still having fun.
Yeah, it's not too crazy.
Yeah, those are my 5 cards.
And then what commanders would you throw in your signature? Like what are your, I guess, what are your favorite commanders? Is because that's kind of what I think we'd put it in.
Mm-hmm. The first one I've got is Derevi, Imperial Tactician. There is a there's a reason. I promise.
Yeah, it's because you're mean. That's the reason.
Green, white, blue for a 2/3 legendary bird wizard with flying. Enters the battlefield or a creature you control deals combat damage to a player. Tap or untap target permanent. And you can pay 1 invent to put it onto the battlefield from the command zone. Back when this first came out in 2013, My buddy who taught me how to play Magic got that precon for me for my birthday. That was my first foray into Commander.
All right, fair.
So this one's kind of always held a special place for me, and I've built it very, very mean and also very, very dumb. Kind of ranging from full stacks, creature combo-esque styles to dinky little bird tribal.
Yeah.
And
I like it. It's Derevi's kind of mean, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah. There's a definite reason that I don't play it too much anymore.
Because you're too mean with it.
Yeah, it's like that Green Goblin mask. I see the card sitting there.
It's calling to you.
Yeah, come on, Torpor. Let's go.
I love it. It's really fun. Honestly, I know you play Derevi and stuff, right? But I haven't looked at a lot of these really old commanders in a long time. I kind of we talked about it with like the Magic Freeze episode. A lot of my decks are kind of stuck in time, right? Mm-hmm. And they're kind of stuck because of that with the play style I had at the time. So if I had a Derevi deck back then, it would have just been a mean deck. Whereas now I would try be like, oh, like here's like some cool things I want to untap or tap. Or I feel like I'd build a very, very different Derevi now.
Yeah.
But like again, it's just one of those ones that it's so far down the line of commanders from what was coming up. So it's really cool to see it on the list there because it's an OG for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I actually kind of like you were mentioning with the Magic Freeze, I'm kind of doing something similar right now. Mm-hmm. So I've been looking at all these older like 2013, 2014 commanders, and there's some real fun ones.
Yeah. There's revisiting some of the cool old stuff with our new building styles, I guess has definitely been interesting for me at least. But like I said, the old decks, I leave them how they are. But I made not too long ago, I made a brand new Muldrotha. My one Muldrotha is really, really mean. And then I made a new one and it's just ooze. I looked, I was like, oh, Muldrotha looks like an ooze on the card. I have ooze cards. What are we talking about? And it's nowhere near as good, but it's really fun. It's a cool theme kind of deck, right? Because Mimeoplasm is like, it's an ooze, but you're not going to exile your 0/0 oozes from the graveyard, play the worst Mimeoplasm deck in the world. Mimeoplasm dies to stay base every time. Yeah. I play Hardened Scales. I play like all of those other things. It still comes in as a 0 and dies. No. What's our next commander on here?
The next one here, holy, I did not realize that this was $100 card now. We've got the 14th Doctor.
Is it that expensive right now?
Yeah, according to Architect, it's $99.99 on Card Kingdom and $80 on TCG.
There's not another
just
drop,
the base one, or is it like the special one, or
no? That's both of them.
There's only one version.
Good golly!
I didn't realize Slothy was rich.
Man, that costs like 4 times the price of the Secret Lair.
That's really funny. What's the 14th Doctor do here? We've got a 4-color deck.
Yeah, it is Hybrid Gruul, white and blue for a 3/4 legendary Time Lord Doctor. When you cast a spell, reveal the top 14 cards of your library. Put all Doctor cards revealed this way into your graveyard, and the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. And you may have the 14th Doctor enter the battlefield as a copy of a Doctor card in your graveyard that was put there from the library this turn. If you do, it gains haste until end of turn.
It's kind of cool.
This deck is... Sorry?
It's kind of cool. Like it has like all the self mill. It's going to play different every time because of how you end up milling.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got 17 different Doctors unless you add black.
Yeah.
That you can use.
It's kind of cool as well because you don't lose the other cards, so you don't have to worry about whiffing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then you've got ways in there that can bring all of the Doctors back.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of reanimation still in these other colors as well, right?
Yeah. And you can even if you wanted to throw the companion, was it Visler? 2 seconds. Yeah, Visler Turlo. In there, that'll get you all 5 colors.
Oh, because all the Doctors things can just have a partner if it's the companion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, the doctors don't need partner themselves, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
The Doctor Who stuff, like you said, it wasn't the set as much for me, but I know you were super into it.
Yeah.
And I've come to appreciate a bunch of the cards because of your play style.
Well, I'm glad you're seeing the light.
We'll see. We'll see. And then what's your final commander you've got here? Like what's your final spellbook card?
The final spellbook card I've got is also from the Doctor Who Secret Lair. We've got the Meep. 2 and a black for a 0/4 legendary creature alien with ward, pay 3 life. Whenever the Meep attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, creatures you control have base power and toughness XX until end of turn, where X is the sacrificed creature's mana value.
I always forget that's really strong.
Yeah.
That's really, really strong.
It's such a fun deck, and it really does scale quite nicely.
It's cool to have a mirror entity like effect that you don't have to sink all the mana into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that, and then you've got your like mirror battle spheres, all the stuff with awesome ETBs. You can just sacrifice, bring it back, play it again, get the mirror, sacrifice, bring it back.
Yeah, easy reanimation options.
Mm-hmm.
I like your spellbook options.
Sorry?
I said I like your spellbook options. They're very, I would say they're all pretty thematic. Like they kind of fit together.
Yeah.
He likes the graveyard.
I kind of like that all of them, pretty much every one of them is like stuck with a variance, right? What you bring back, always variance. What you're sacking with the Meep, variance. The 14th Doctor, variance. How many tokens you're getting, variance. You're you have a lot of like cool stuff, and then you, like I said, it's very nice that you went to one of your OG ones.
Mm-hmm.
I like your little spellbook. It's nice.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Sherman, let's go with you. What do you got in your spellbook here? You have a unique play style. Right. You're all over the place.
I am definitely all over the place. All right. Let's get this one out of the way. This is probably the most expensive card I have in the spellbook. That's going to be the Displacer Kitten. So for 3 and a blue, it's a 2/2 creature, cat beast. It has avoidance. So whenever I cast a non-creature spell, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent you control, then return the card to the battlefield under its owner's control. This is the most expensive card I have in the spellbook, and I like to flicker things and blink things to the point where, like, I personally think it's like the most broken mechanic as time goes.
Yeah.
As you know, because ETBs are a really strong thing. Mm-hmm. And anytime I throw this card down, I'm instantly the target at the table. I cannot get away with this.
That's fair. So, Displacer Kitten puts in work. I have never seen it not put in work a single time in a single game. It's always very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's one of those cards where like you have to kill on sight. If you don't, then things just get out of hand. There's so much protection because the moment you target something, person will just cast something that's like a non-creature spell and then flicker it, and then the target's void, right?
Well, yeah, you don't even really have to. You don't have to counter anymore, right? I target your Displacer Kitten. You just say, "Interesting. I am going to path to exile your commander and protect my Displacer Kitten." So what's up?
Yeah. So it's super hard to get rid of, and the best way to get rid of it is board wipe, right? Or just get rid of it as soon as possible if the person's tapped out. But board wipes are the way to go mainly. But yeah, because it's so hard to get rid of, it's one of those things that everyone has to get rid of as soon as they see it.
Well, you specifically too. You're very heavy non-creature spell, right? I wouldn't say you're the creature heavy player in the group. So you have a lot of options all the time. You've got a lot of that. So Displacer Kitten, especially in a deck run by you, like Displacer Kitten in a deck by me, who cares? I put Displacer Kitten down. I got 60 creatures in the deck.
You put there because you're doing a cat type.
Yeah, it's a cat theme.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm not a wise man.
Yeah, like with me, like you said, like, I run like anywhere around like 20 to 25 creatures. I rarely run close to 30.
I think I always run at least 30. I run more creatures than lands in basically every deck.
That's so true.
What else do we have in our spellbook here?
All right. Next one we have here is going to be Dawn Charm. So for 1 and a white, it's an instant. I like the fact that you can choose what you want. So you can choose one. Either prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn, so you can fog. You can regenerate target creature, so you're basically saving something. Or you counter target spell that targets you. So that doesn't happen as often, but when it does, it's hilarious.
It is a lot of, if I hit someone with like what's the it's the wealth one, the Esper wealth card. What am I thinking?
Esper Wealth?
Yeah, it or not Esper, it's blue, black, green, Sultai. And you exile cards from the top.
Villainous Wealth.
Villainous
Wealth. Yeah, there we go. You guys understand how my brain got there. If I try to Villainous Wealth you for 30 and you Dawn Charm me, I'd be devastated. I would be I'd be sad.
The best thing about it is that it's in white too, so people don't expect counters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it's this one, and I think
like it's a specific counter, so like it has to target you, which is fine, but like most of the time it's like you're running a card that's very versatile, so most of the time you're casting this to fog.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So other times you are regenerating a target creature. It doesn't have to be yours. It can be someone else's. So
it's again, this one really speaks to your play style because of how many options you have with it, right? You can do a lot with it. It fills multiple roles in a deck. And like you said, you can politics with it. You can just say like, hey, I'll save your creature. Just leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, me, like I said, I'm like the police. I like to answer things. I like to initiate things. I like to cause chaos. So this kind of does that.
I like it.
Let's stick with the theme of counters. Okay. The next card here is a red card. Is Mage's Contest. So it's an instant for 3 mana, 1 double red. Okay. You and target spell's controller bid life. You start the bidding with a bid of 1. In turn order, each player may top the high bid. The bidding ends if the high bid stands. The higher bid loses life equal to the high bid. If you win the bid, counter that spell. This is really fun to play against your brothers because they.
I was gonna say every time my brothers they're betting 39 or 40 life and saying what's up
every time.
There's me and my brothers especially. There's it's I think Game of Chance, whatever the coin flip one is where it doubles the damage or that's you kill us with that card. We won't stop if you play it. None of us will stop. We will die. And the same thing. I'll pay 40 life to Mage's Contest to prove a point. You didn't counter my spell. I killed myself. Let it be known I cannot be countered. You still counter the spell anyways? No. Again, another very unorthodox counterspell, a really cool one.
The fun with this one is the fact that if you get to counter it and you lose life, fine. But your main goal is to lower the person's life as much as you can, right? Like if you really, really, really need to counter it, you just like push the limit. If you die, you die. You don't care. But most of the time, if you're in red, you're already hitting everyone and doing the small amount of damage early on and just decreasing everyone's life. So you tend to be the one that has the highest life total anyways. Mm-hmm. So, and this just dominates after that. Once you have the highest life total, you basically like dominate with this card.
Well, you can also kind of force like again, we talk about Toxrill, right? You can kind of force me to make a much more difficult choice of like, everyone knows I'm going to be the problem if I'm casting a Toxrill. I'm going to be the enemy of the table. But if Toxrill cast cost now costs me 25 life because no one wants to, you know what I mean? That's a very, very different piece of math because I'm a lot easier to kill if I have 15 life left than if I have 40 life in Toxrill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's I like this unorthodox counter.
Gets people every time.
Well, and you don't see it coming, right? It's the life is a resource in Magic. I say it. We all say it all the time. But yeah, losing that much life to win, again, I have 40 life to start, right? So throwing away 20 life isn't that big of a deal. If I really don't want you to have it, if I really don't want you to Cycrift, I'll throw 40 life away. I'm leaving the game one way or the other.
Fair. All right. Let's move on to the next card here. This card you guys have seen me talk about a few times, and that's going to be the Baton of Morale. So It's cost 2. It's an artifact. For 2 mana, target creature gains banding until end of turn. You knew I had to throw in a banding card.
You love the old odd mechanics.
Yeah. The thing about Baton of Morale is that you can give banding to your opponent's creatures. So if someone has, like, let's say a critical hoof, then they swing out at someone, okay, and they have like a few blockers, you can give those blockers banding and redirect all the trample damage to the one creature that's blocking instead of going over. So you can potentially save people.
Yeah. It's fun that you get to choose how damage is assigned with banding. It's again, it's another thing people never build and play around. Because if I have a deck that only wins through trample, good luck.
Yeah.
You assign 180 damage to my Soul Warden, I will gain a life.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's
fun times.
The Baton of Morale is an interesting card. And again, it's not something you see. It's hard to I like things that are weird and unorthodox.
I strongly suggest people to try the mechanic just because it is very powerful defensively. So everyone's always about like being offensive, going all out, stuff like that. Sometimes you just want to sit back and chill and watch the world burn, and this helps you.
I like it. And
All
what's your final spell in this one here?
My final spell is going to be a Frantic Search. It's something that you guys always see me putting into decks. I always, like, this is a staple for me. So Frantic Search is 2 and a blue. So instant. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards, untap up to 3 lands. So you're basically getting a free card draw. You have to discard 2 cards. Whoop-de-doo. I don't care. It's literally a free spell at this point in time.
Yeah.
It's free value.
It does filter pretty fast through decks.
Like, it's perfect for reanimator strategies like Slothy, because you're throwing stuff into the bin. You know, it's good for digging answers. Like, 2 cards is a decent amount. You know, if you're worried about like discarding things that are like that you want to keep, it's fine. Just discard the ones that you just drew.
Yeah.
You just go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a real fun card, especially when you kind of get into the storm aspect of it with Narset's Reversal and
where you're constantly untapping. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like it in Riel. Like Riel, also like maybe the Captain Howler, the new one kind of thing, right? I just really like having that. Like in Riel, this is a free spell that draws me 4 cards, which is great. I'm better with this spell. I'm better than Ancestral Recalling. I like it. I should have put Riel on my list. I got too many decks.
You have a lot of decks. I always cycle through mine. I always swap mine out. So
yeah, I wish I had.
Right.
I wish I had the self-control.
Okay, so now we're down to my 3 commanders. Okay, each one has a different meaning in my life. So the first one is going to be the Locust God. So the Locust God is 4, a blue, and a red. Legendary creature, God, flying, has flying. When you draw a card, you create a 1/1 blue and red insect creature token with flying and haste. For 2 and a blue and a red, draw a card that's discard card. When a Locust God dies, return it to the owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step, and it's a 4/4. So the Locust God is already strong. We all know that. The reason why it's in my spellbook is because this is the very first commander I built on my own. All the other times I built commander when I was getting into the game, I had someone sit down, help me out. I looked things up and stuff like that. But I always had help. This is the first deck I ever built on my own. And I played around with it, doing different things. And it, like, let's face it, the Locust God is just really strong. So you can build it in almost any way, and it does really well.
Yeah. Again, built-in mana sink, token generation with flyers that have haste. It has flying. It's very hard to kill.
Yeah. And it does the one thing that I love to do in the game, and that's draw cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's all that matters.
Locust God goes a little silly.
All right. The second commander I have is Wrath Capuchin Ship's Mage. Okay, so for a 2 and a white and a blue, okay, the human wizard has flash, it has flying. You may cast historic spells as though they have flash. So historics are going to be artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. Okay, most people know I like to play with artifacts. So this is the one commander that I built where I just went crazy, did a lot of mind games. So I would like have like a Mox Amber in my hand, and I would just hold it until someone cast something, and I would like, okay, I'll just flash this out, tap it for a blue because Wrath is out, and then I'll cast a Swan Song. So it's like a lot of mind games. Now, the main reason why this is also in my spellbook is because this was the last commander I ever played with, where I played with infinite combos. This was the end. So this ended my saga of just doing nothing but racing to get to my infinite combos and winning. And I think at the time when I had this deck, I had like something stupid like 8 different infinite combos in the deck. So
Jeez, who hurt you?
I was basically done.
I like that. So this is what ended your arms race.
This is kind of what ended the arms race. Actually, the next card actually what truly ended it. But this was like at this point in time, I actually considered quitting Magic.
Okay.
Because it was not fun for me. But this was basically, yeah, it pushed me to the point where I'm always racing and everything. I still love this card. I still, love playing with Wrath. I would still build it, but just without infinite combos. And like I like it because of all the mind games you can play. Right. My last commander. This one's a long-winded one. That's going to be Psy Master Thopterus. This card is my special card. It is what you call a namesake card. So my Chinese name is Sai Man, SAI space MAN. So last name's first, so Wang Sai Man, Wang Sai Man. Okay. So this is my namesake card.
I like this.
This card came out after. Sorry?
I said I like that a lot. That's very cool.
Yeah. So this card was special for me because this came out after Dominaria pretty much when I was trying to build new sets. So Wrath came out, built it, getting sick of it. Psy comes out. I'm like, okay, I want to make this special. Okay. But at this point in time, I'm like debating like, oh, I don't really want to spend more money doing something that going infinite and everything. It's really boring for me. I don't know what to do. Then I discovered Loaded Ready Run and how they play with different themes. So Psy was what made me go into book Tribal. Because if you look at the lower left side, there's books and there's papers and everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, I want to write a story. Psy does that because what we have is we have a stack of cards, and that's the library. Okay, what's in the library? Well, books and paper and all that stuff. So I wanted Psy to be digging through the library to search for answers. Okay. That's where my idea of book Tribal came from. I wanted to tell a story that way, where I'm like, okay, where can I find the things that I need to win? This also led me to care less about winning and more about actually having fun, because I didn't care about the infinite combos anymore. I cared more about trying to figure out how to make something like this work, right? It is like the thing that I wanted to really show why I cared about this card. Like it's my namesake card, like I could put myself into this and be this, right? So I started off like with just going through and learning, like going through every single picture in every single set for every single blue card and artifact. And it took me ages. It took me a long time. But this is how I also learned to, one, search for cards better. And two, like look over, like understand certain like themes and mechanics and everything, and just go from there, and then like try to focus fire on things. So like it taught me how to build jank. I learned that card draw is what really helps the most because when you have no card draw, you're just drawing a card and playing pass most of the time. It taught me how to ramp, because back then there weren't many cards that had books in them.
Yeah.
And so I had to diverge a little bit and be like, okay, maybe it has books, but also things like scrolls or pieces of paper, things like that, things that you would find in a library. Okay, so like it allowed me to go dive into things like using like Sisei's ring, where it shows like a map. Oh no, I had to look, like it took me a long time to find Metalworker, because in the background on the left side you see a book, and everyone's like, the moment they see Metalworker, it's like, oh my god, this is a really strong deck because that's like $140 card. I'm like, no, this is like a power level like of a 2 back then, right?
Bracket 0,
like 1 to 10. Yeah, it was really bad. Like, Daniel, this was the deck that introduced me to you.
I was gonna say, I wanted to jump in, but I was waiting. I was gonna say this deck was the beginning of the end deck for me, because I was playing, the first game I ever played with Sherman. We were playing I think it was a 6-man game, and I was playing Muldrotha, one of my highest power decks at the time, where I'm recycling Lionized Diamond. I got dual lands, and the guy I see across the table from me is playing a deck and everything's book theme. And he's got a bigger smile than anyone else at the table. He's having a great time doing it. It's making, I loved it. And I took that away from it, of like, this is like such a silly, and honestly, like the book tribal introduction cascaded me away from a lot of the powerful decks into just, I'm gonna build silly nonsense. I saw someone play the silliest nonsense I've ever seen, and I was like, I have to capture some of that magic myself.
Yeah. So, and that's the magic of this commander and this deck theme. Like, my book tribal no longer has Sai as the commander, which, happens, but the theme is still there. And what I loved about it is just that it does kind of tell a story. It does show other people that, hey, you can still play and like do well if you want to do a theme. Because like, when I first started up this deck, it was really bad. I worked on it. I still have it, and it does really well now. It has some wins under its belt. It doesn't win all the time because it's hard, but yeah, it does really well still. And sometimes I am the threat. So, but yeah, like this is like my Magnus Opus. He is the one thing that started all of this journey for me, that made me fall in love with the game again. And it's not that, it's not to sit down and to focus on winning. It's to sit down and play with a bunch of friends and have a good time and hopefully just tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
That's my last one.
you guys, I'm about to get into my spell book here. So much more thought into your guys'. I have a caveman brain. I'm like, whoa. So
wait, what do you mean I can't put Rigo 8 times?
So I'm just saying in advance, if everyone who's listening has enjoyed these personal stories, I don't have my brain's not good enough for that. Oh wow, like I said, I really like that. I will.
Yeah, we see Rigo howling mine.
You got a few on the list already. Let's start with one of the ones. This is one of the only enchantments I frequently play, or instance. Sorry, I play lots of enchantments. For me, one of the very first ones is going to be our Blue Sun Zenith. I put Blue Sun Zenith in so many decks because I really, really like I like to draw cards, so it's kind of for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I like it. It's kind of, for a lot of games, I'm able to help draw someone out. It lets me politics. It lets me mana sink. Like, Blue Sun Zenith always makes me happy to cast. There's better cards now that exist, but I have it in so many decks. There we go. Spellbook Daniel. I've got it just in so many decks that I have just kind of really, really grown to love this card. And I was looking through. I have a lot of my decks like scanned in and stuff, and I was looking through, and I have this in more decks than I'm going to currently admit. That's all I'm going to say is Blue Sun Zenith kinda is if I have one, I put it in card usually. So yeah, let's as well. I'll jump into our next one immediately, which you guys rightfully called out, and it is that Howling Mine. I live for this card. It's one of my absolute favorites. It's a namesake. I've had people at events. I've had people on Patreon, Instagram, all of them be like, you know what? I actually play this card now because of you. I love this card. I put it in every deck. I generally have the feeling that I have enough gas in my deck that I'm going to out accelerate everyone if I'm drawing anyways. But I just find that Howling Mine makes a more fun game.
What I find with Howling Mine is that a lot of people are like, okay, like why would I give everyone card advantage? But you don't understand. When you give them card advantage, you're not the threat. You're the friend. People want to keep you around.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of fun to a lot of my cards are draw themed. I looked through my list and a lot of them have draw in them. And it's kind of fun to overwhelm people with options, right? A lot of people spend like the turn around the table thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Now they have 7 new cards in their hand and they don't know what to do with these new cards. It changes the game. It changes the math. Like I do see a lot of people get overwhelmed by the number of cards I give them in group hug decks. And I see people play suboptimally because of it. But I just love it. I think that Howling Mine can change the night for some people, right? If you're having a bad game, you're stuck on one land or something, and you're able to get to that other one because you get these extra draws. I find that it is a fun card for the table.
Yeah, Howling Mine is a blast, and it is one that you have turned me on to. It is now in most of my non-super budget decks.
Yeah. It needs reprint. Get this down to a 50-cent card, and I'm gonna buy a stack.
Yep.
I'm gonna stock back up. Yeah. I keep saying like, oh yeah, you can't find this card, and then I have this card. And I kid you not, I did look today. I kid you not. I have this card in 413 decks.
Holy smokes.
There's a reason we can't find Howling Mines. We have Howling Mine at home. I was looking through my most common card, and Howling Mine is real high up there. I have a lot of decks that have like your traditional Lana Wars or that, but I really am stocking these Howling Mines. Oh, one day if I ever sell my collection, it's gonna be just kind of silly to drop just a stack of 400 Howling Mines. What do you give me?
Well, that's the thing. Like people will see like the stack of Howling Mines, like, oh, it looks like this person just tried to collect all of them, thinking that they would go up in value and just farm them off. But that's not the truth. No,
I want them to go down in value. I want more of them. No, Howling Mine is definitely a staple card. I would say Howling Mine, Temple Bell, and Rites of Flourishing all kind of are the same one. And then I really, really like Juriper Ori is something I really wanted to put on here because I love playing Juriper Ori, but it wasn't as favorite as all of my other ones. The next one is the embodiment of my play style. It's everything that I do in games and more. And it's also the way my wife is learning to play, which is hilarious. It's Finale of Glory. I loved the entire finale cycle, but oh, do I ever love to, I don't end games. Oftentimes, if you're playing with me, we're playing. We're having a good time. We're visiting. And I'm trying to see how many tokens I can get on board. So I don't often end games, but Finale of Glory is just one of my favorite, like, dump mana into cards. It goes so aggressively hard. If you don't counter Finale of Glory, you often lose. And one of the silliest things I've ever seen is and a reason Finale of Glory is one of my favorite is because teaching my wife to play Magic, my wife's a very nice lady, and she doesn't want to hit anyone. She just wants to play around and have a good time. But we were playing a big game, and she had, I think, 40 creatures out with Jetmir. She's really a problem at the moment. She got Jetmir on board, 40 plus creatures. She dumps, I think it was 25 mana into Finale of Glory. I'll read Finale of Glory. But Finale of Glory is X double white. You create X 2/2 white soldier creatures with vigilance. If X is 10 or more, you also create X 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance. So again, it's quite the powerhouse card, especially if you're dumping all of that. If you're over that 10 mana, you're getting 20 creatures. It's crazy. It's a lot. So anyways, my wife.
More,
huh?
There's more if you put it on coma, sorry.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, so my wife has Jetmir out. She got 40 creatures on board. She's scaring me. And she dumps like 25 or whatever, 25, 40. I can't even remember what mana. It's a lot of mana, regardless. The story doesn't matter how much mana. It was a lot. And Brian, obviously, was like, I'm going to counter that. And she's brand new to Magic at this point. She's like, what does that mean? And I was like, it means you don't get to cast that spell. And she just like, for a minute, just like can I kill him? And I was like, yeah, you definitely can. I'm pretty sure because it's tapped Brian out. And she's like, okay, I swing at Brian. I was like, oh, what do you want to swing with? She's like, everything. So she smashed him for like 400 damage for countering the Finale of Glory. It was one of my favorites. Just like it was not a good threat assessment. I'll tell you that, because Kayla would have just sat with those creatures just like I do. But yeah, Finale of Glory is just one of my favorite finales to dump that mana into. Getting the big board state of the Angels with flying and vigilance and the Soldiers with vigilance. Oh, it's so fun. And it's the embodiment, like I said, of an all-out card. Like you don't Finale of Glory 30 mana deep unless you're a confident person that no one's holding counter spells. You got to go hard. I'm a big fan of that one. The other one I have that I just had in a lot of decks, and I wasn't guessing it, but I do like it, is Awakening Zone. I play Awakening Zone all the time. I really, really like to make tokens. These tokens are the Eldrazi ones that give you the mana. So Awakening Zone is 2 and a green. Beginning of your upkeep, you may create, you don't have to, but you may create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn token, and it has sack it, add 1 mana. I really like to get this out early in a game, right? It's not like the thing is, it's ramping you every turn in more ways than one. It's giving you creatures, it's giving you mana ramp, but it's not scary enough that people are going to target a lot of their removal at, right? Like you have more problematic things. These are just my little pesky 0/1s. Like, why do you care? So a lot of times I find Awakening Zone really flies under the radar until it's generated me far more mana than I needed in the early game. Like I really, really like it, but it's, you know, if you're just on curve and you have your 3 mana on whatever turn you drop it, and you play a mana next turn, you're up to 5 mana in a turn instead of 4. And that does really push you ahead of people.
Yeah.
Like I said, most of mine are pretty simple and stuff. The last one on it as well is I would say guess, but again, I play too many decks for people to guess. But I do really put this in a lot of decks. It's another one that I have tons of. And you see everyone talk all the time about, oh, well, you know, I would never I don't take that deal, but everyone takes the deal. I put Tempt with Discovery in every place I can put Tempt with Discovery. I oftentimes, it's not even because I'm going to get good lands. I just tell everyone, like, I'm going to get Forest. You guys, you do what you want to do. I really like to cast Tempt with Discovery because, again, number one, I like to ramp. And a lot of times when I play this is 4 mana for 4 cards. Tempt with Discovery is 3 and a green. You search it has Tempting Offer. Search your library for a land, any land. Put it on the battlefield any way it comes in, so it doesn't have to be tapped. Each opponent can search the library for a land, put it on the battlefield. Each opponent who searches this way shuffles, and then for each one that does it, I get to get an extra land. So a lot of people, you see it a lot of times come out for, I'm going to fetch a Cabal Coppers, an Urborg, but I just generally use it for a ramp card and for trying to, again, help people have a good game, because I tell people, I'm like, I'm already going to get the best land in my deck. Whatever one I want to get, I'm going to go. If I want an Urborg, it's already coming out. So you guys are just hurting yourselves at this point, right? I love to politics with this card. I love to convince people to take the deal. And I just really have fun playing with Tempt with Discovery. Sometimes Sherman doesn't take the deal, but sometimes he does because everyone else is taking the deal. I'm convincing enough to get
mine, baby.
Yeah, I'm convincing enough to get everyone else in. So these are mine. A lot of them are they're all kind of group hug or token based kind of, and those are really like my 2 favorite play styles are group hug and token. Mm-hmm. And then my commanders are honestly probably pretty predictable. And I'm going to go with the first one you guys predicted, and that's Rigo. And if you've listened to this podcast at any point in the last year, you will have heard me preach the glory of my Cat King. I love Rigo. I have so many versions of Rigo. Again, it's an insane draw engine built into it. It has a shield counter when it comes in, so it's harder to remove. It's playable in so many color pairings for a Bant commander. It's a hybrid Selesnya, so a red or a white, then a white, and then a hybrid Azorius, so a white or a green, or white or a blue, yeah. And it just, again, I have mono white versions of this. I've got artifact versions of this, infect versions of this, like small creatures. I really, really like it. So Rigo's a 2/2 cat for that 3 mana, and whenever you attack a player or planeswalker with one or more creatures with power 1 or less, you draw a card. I rarely in Magic have more fun than swinging at people with a 0 mana creature or 0 damage creature. I think it's so fun. I enjoy it. Again, nobody really threat assesses me when I play Rigo because I'm not doing anything. Most times you're taking a damage, because what am I going to do? I'm going to swing 5 zeros at you to draw my 1 card? No, but it's such a monster draw. Like, you're, even with nothing else to help you draw and just your board of trash creatures, Rigo's enabling you to basically be drawing with your beginning card turn for a turn. And that's so easy to play things out, to get exciting games. It really, really makes Rigo consistent. A lot of my Rigo decks would be considered like bracket 1 stuff. They don't tutor, they don't do, but they perform. They really perform, and Rigo's like a good testament of how intention matters, because I know that this draw is making it consistent. I know that I'm not gonna, they're all 1-drop creatures. They're all trash. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not flooding out trying to cast a Savannah Alliance here. So I just, Rigo's been just one of my favorite ones to build. I've got to play it at a few of the face-to-face events, which has been a blast. Everyone I've seen played it with has had a fun time. So Rigo had to make a mention on the list. The next one is, I guess it's kind of like you guys. I have a little bit of a story, but it's not as nice. This is the deck I have the most fun playing of like any deck. I think like there's a few decks that I would never take apart, and my Belladross one is one of them. My Belladross deck is like one of my favorite decks. I love what Belladross does in general, and it had to make the list because of it. It's one of the silliest decks I ever built, and it was, again, I built this at a time when I was playing games with Sherman and I was looking for silly themes. And losing my own life in the game is the silliest of all themes that I've been able to find. And I think the games that I've made people some of the angriest with are with Belladross, because my whole deck's like purpose on it is getting my life 2-0 or 1 basically, and then switching life totals. It's so fun. I have such a good time. My Belladross deck, I think, is like $60. Oh, it's just nonsense, but it's such a monster engine of a card. But I love this getting out. So Belladross is 5, a black, a green for a 4/4 Elder Dragon with flying. It kind of has a Tender Shoot Dryad effect. At the beginning of each upkeep, you create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with, when it dies, you gain a life. And that's awesome. That, as someone who lives the token making dream, I love a commander that goes around. It's these are chump blockers now. They're sacrifice fodder. They're gaining me life. I really, really like it. Like the life and loss stuff. If you've never listened to our life and loss episode with Belladross, like the Belladross deck, you should check it out. It is one of the decks I'm the most proud of ever making, and I love it so much. But Belladross really, really shines with this absolute nonsense garbage ability. So when you drop Belladross down for 7 mana, a lot of times that's the end of the turn. That's a big play. You're really out there. But Belladross has pay 10 life, untap all lands you control, activate only once each turn. This makes your Belladross deck so expensive. Like, being able to, if you're just using raw mana, tapping 7 and then paying 10 life to get 7 more mana is essentially like taking an extra turn. It's almost like you're taking an extra turn with your Belladross deck, because you're getting nearly a full fresh untap. I love every part of playing the Belladross, and it's been one of my I think it's Brady that has a Belladross as well. And I just really, really like seeing how people build it, because it's just a fun commander. But Belladross had to make the list because it's just one of those commanders that this Belladross would have been like my 3rd place. It would have to be Belladross or Kenrith, just because I own so many Kenrith decks of different themes. But Belladross, I think, is more interesting to see, right? Like, oh yeah, Kenrith, Daniel loves 5-color decks that you can do anything with. Yeah, it's like Belladross, like I said, it goes it goes a little silly with most of it. And then my final commander is I think everyone has seen me play a version of this, but my final commander for our spellbook would have to be a Selvala Explorer Returned. It's always consistently been one of my favorite decks, one of my stronger decks. I've got I think 8 or 9 versions of Selvala. I have like a really, really fun interaction one where it's like a competitive kind of deck where you basically get your infinite untaps with like your Umbral Mantles, those kind of things. And then you, because it's a mana ability, no one ever gets a chance to react, no priorities passed. And then you just cast your Angel's Grace split second again, no one can react. Then you just draw everyone out. That it's a really, really fun competitive way using like mana abilities as a thing. But I also just really, really like Selvala. I have a Primal Surge Selvala deck. I've got an Angels and Elves Selvala deck. Like Selvala really does a lot. I have a Group Hug Selvala deck, obviously, but it does what I like the most. This commander ramps, and this commander makes friends at the table because of its abilities. So Selvala Explorer Returned, which I've ranted about now, is 1 green, 1 white for a 2/4 Elf Scout, and it has the Parlay ability. You tap it, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each non-land revealed this way, you get a green and you gain a life, then each player draws a card. How fast Selvala can ramp is like pretty nutty, because if we're in a 4-player pod and I drop this on, let's say, turn 3. Turn 3 goes, we go into turn 4, I play a land, I have 4 available mana, I parlay and we hit for everything. I gained 4 life this way and 4 mana. So I'm at 8 mana on turn 4, which is very, very difficult to come back from, right? Like that's why it's so fun to Primal Surge with this version of Selvala, because you get to that Primal Surge number. That's the only card in the deck. I have a Primal Surge Karametra deck too, the same kind of premise. But yeah, you do that, you get through it. Selvala is just an interesting card in my opinion, because like I said, it helps everyone get that draw. No one doesn't like the parlay ability. Selvala kind of stays around a lot of the time. And yeah.
It's true. Everybody wants that card draw.
Everyone wants that card draw. And it's just fun. It's kind of fun. I like that it kind of gives us all a little bit of game knowledge of what's going on. Because for me, you're just seeing creatures, but now I know Sherman's holding that counterspell. I was pretty sure he had one in those mitts, but now I know.
No, you know I have at least one.
that is true. I know at least you have the one. But yeah, I really like I said, I think this was fun to go through just the what we like. Like what did you guys think of my little list here?
I like it. Definitely fits very much in what I believe your play style is. I've seen you play every single one of those cards, every single one of those commanders at least twice.
Yeah.
There was no Golos. I'm disappointed.
Bring it back. Bring it. I thought about doing Golos. I thought about Rebellion putting Golos on the list. Golos, Primeval Titan, Leovold. Yeah. I think this one does really show my playstyle. Like I said, a lot of it is like either generate like a big advantage tokens or kind of a group hug thing. I really like a lot of the group hug stuff. And I apparently really like to draw. That's what I'm kind of discovering about myself, is draw from the command zone is like my favorite thing to have enabled.
Well, I find you like draw because you like throwing down as much as you can and just building a giant board state and be like, okay, you guys can't touch me and I can't touch you, but check this out.
I can't. That's why I don't like when people take my cards, or I don't like playing against discard. I want these cards out. Please let me have them.
And for everyone listening, this is how I came up with the concept of throwing in like 5 board wipes against Daniel.
A lot of people really kind of just leave me alone for too long. I'm pretty good at the whining part of like, you guys, I'm not even being a problem. Seriously, I'm serious, guys. Just leave me alone, please. You're bullying me. But everyone who plays with me consistently knows they know that a lot of times I'm gonna threaten you. I'm gonna say like, you do that, I'll kill you. That's gonna happen in a game and stuff. And I get to bully a lot of people out of that. Everyone else is like, oh yeah, Daniel's gonna kill me. Okay, and then the next turn I'm like, Slothy, you're dead next. I'm coming for you. So it's that's kind of my play style. But yeah, a lot of times, like you said, running board wipes is pretty good against me because I'm all gas. I'm not protecting a thing. Yeah, I got Howling Line in a lot of decks. don't have lightning greaves in a lot of decks. I'll tell you that right now. I have a stack of lightning greaves, and every time I go through like my box for building stuff, I'm like, oh, lightning greaves could be like okay, and they're like, and then I like end up putting like another mana rock in. I'm just like, that's fine.
Because it's more fun just throwing stuff down and watching people try to get rid of things.
Pedal to
like protection is nice, but when you don't care about winning, you just care about having fun. You don't care if your stuff dies.
Pedal to the metal magic is entertaining to play. I will say this at least. Like I said, I really like these these like small, because there's so many cards in Magic that you could have chosen. I really, really like, and I love seeing that there's like the difference. They're all pretty budget lists except for Slothy's, for some reason now, $100 card.
Yeah. 14th Doctor being $100 is absolutely crazy.
I was gonna say, you take your one secret layer card out, and it's all down to like a $20 list. Like none of our stuff is like I need a Sylvan Library, Lionized Diamond. How we've all kind of evolved as players is really nicely, I think, summarized into these lists of like, again, the unorthodox counters, the multiple modes of being able to do things, the okay, well, I want to reanimate things, or I really like this targeted I really like that these kind of shine our playstyle. So again, this is very fun. I wanted to do this for a while. We've talked about this one for a bit, but it's really, really nice to see the it's kind of nice to just, because and I hope everyone who listens kind of does the same thing. It's nice to self-evaluate how you play, what you play, and like why you're doing it. Because maybe if you look at your spellbook, and your constant cards are like the highest of powers, it's just like if everything is just like Smothering Tithe, like Rhystic Study, then maybe you have to look a little inward and be like, is this the player I want to be known for? I love being the player that's known for a Howling Mine. I love that like both my friends knew there was a Howling Mine on this list for sure, right? It's to me, like it's fun. I really, really like that. So it's nice to like introspect on our own play styles, and it's also really nice to just like see the cards that matter to other people and stuff. I didn't know that about Psy, and now I want to build a Psy deck. I want to build because I just really liked. I was like, yeah, that's a cool card. The card means a lot to Sherman, and now I must have one. Now I've got to have my own. Yeah, that's it. I'm like I said, I had a blast doing it. What were you saying, Sherman?
How about you build a side deck, and then Sloth, like I build something from Slothy, and Slothy builds something from you.
I would absolutely love to see some of that. I would love to see someone build one of my like 3 commanders. I'd love, you know what? Honestly, I just like, as a fun thing, maybe like in the follow-up, eventually I'll do it. I would love to see like, I'll build one of Sherman's, one of Slothy's, and then the same way. I would love to see like how people would build these things. I like it. Yeah. A follow-up episode should be coming. Belladross the Slothy way.
Ooh.
To be honest, it'd be a strong reanimator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, that's like I said. I'll wrap us there and stuff. There's my button. Thank you guys for getting through our spellbook episode. What would you put in yours? I want to know, like, what's your favorite card, your go-to card that you reach for as much as you can and stuff, right? What's everyone's favorite commanders? And yeah, I just, is there a card that really means a lot to you? Definitely reach out into any comments and stuff. I just looked through all the Spotify comments, and a bunch of them had me howling laughing. I really, really like those. So thank you everyone who leaves those comments. Like, share, subscribe, comment. It does really, really help us out. People see it more. Really easy to get a hold of us on Instagram or any like the Spotify, Apple like I don't know if Apple has comments, but Spotify comments, like YouTube comments, any of those things are very, very easy. If you want to support us above and beyond, like, share, subscribe. By the way, a lot of people have gone and given us ratings, which is very nice lately. So you guys, when I call everyone animals, that's not you guys. Thank you everyone who's done that. Come over to Patreon though if you want to go above and beyond that. It is a nice like way to directly support what we're doing and also to interact with us a little bit more. If you like any of these cards, you want to ball out like Slothy with his 14th Doctor here, go over to houseofcards.ca, promo code IT99. That's going to get you a discount. It's gonna support us. It's going to support a great store as well, who has fast shipping and wonderful products. So definitely go check them out. And AI Armor sleeves for any of your new decks. And yeah, that's it. Now we just roll it out, and I try to think of a nice way to build a Derevi deck. can't think of one, to be honest. Bye-bye.
Later.
See you later.